Hello, it's Dominique. Today I'm sharing with you two projects that I made with the paper collection. It's Time to Flourish by Graphic 45. I had bought the papers last year. I made a project which is called Time to Flourish, the perpetual calendar. I made a slideshow out of it. If you want to see it, it's on my YouTube channel. I had some leftover papers like the calendars. I had two. There were like two in the pad, so I used one in that project last year, and I had one left, so I said I have to make another project. And also I had a little bit of like I had bought some ephemera cards. I bought two packages by mistake. I just wanted the one. And also I found out that they have the same card in the cutouts of the 12 by 12 sheets. So I ended up using that one in the other project and having still my ephemera cards, like 4 sets of one per month. So I gave one to a friend, Linda. Hi, Linda, for a project of hers. And I said I have to use them for other projects. So what I did, I bought another 12 by 12 paper pad of the Graphic 45 Time to Flourish, so that I would have more options on what to use and how to build my pages. And the ephemera card that was in the paper, in the cutouts, I used it on the other side, so I have pattern paper because there's pattern paper on the other side, and I used the ephemera card for putting in the album. And also I made another project with the other ephemera cards with some of the cutouts also that I kept for this one, and I had leftover paper from last year's project I used in this project. I still have a couple of tags and little pieces of the cutouts and one ephemera card for another project later. That will be really much smaller than this one. So today I'm sharing that with you, the two ones that I've made this year. I just worked on those for last week. A lot of work. So I used up the 12 by 12 paper pad and one calendar. Okay, so I'm going to share with you the first project, which is a smaller one. So I made of course it's calendar, so it has 12 pages, and every page has the 2 sides that are for each month. So that's really 12 pages that are turning. And on the covers I've done something else. In the inside. On the outside, this is the cover I made. So I used paper from another paper collection because I didn't have enough of this one, and I used up everything for my project, so I had to use something else. So I used some paper from, I cannot tell you which paper collection it is, but still, it's nice paper. It has nothing to do with the inside with the pattern papers, but I thought it was pretty, so I used it. And this is one of the Tim Holtz frames, metal frames. So I made a little cross stitch, really tiny. It says life, I don't know if you can see it, and little hearts here, borders. I made a little twig bouquet with a nice lace bow here and some paper flowers, a couple of little blinks here. I used a piece of vintage lace here, some stickers here, and blings here. On the spine I use my what I use always is the suede-like fabric that I buy at Hobby Lobby. I use one of the pins here from Tim Holtz, and I made this little charm chain. I put a little key and this charm here, and there's room to add whatever the person wants to add on. It's on her project. And this is the back. The closure is made with a piece of chipboard that I've glued in. It has a nice flower here, and it's metal flower. What I did is that because it's pretty thick, still some room to put some photos, can still move, but what if after a lot of photos are added in there, it's sticking out? I made 2. So this is the second magnet, so you have a lot of room in there, much more. So it's either this one or this one. So that's what I did. I put 1 magnet on this side, but I put 2 on this side here. So I thought it was a pretty smart idea. So let's go inside. So first of all, on the front cover I made a file like I always do. So it's a 3-pocket file to put documents, cards, whatever. And here is a little belly band. I have some mini brads here to hold this belly band tight. So this is January. So the way I made it is I used the card. This is the monthly card. When it goes in the pocket, it holds this page tuck, as you can see. This is Anne from Anna's Paper Creations idea that I used. I thought it was bright. So this one here, and the way I built my pages is I used two envelopes that I've glued two back to back. I mean, one glued on the back of the other one, and that's why you have the flaps. So that's a piece of the envelope. I cut this piece here so that the pocket would be free, so that we can put the card here. Use this little cutout here with a little bow. And there's an envelope, so I put one card, I put one of the cutouts from the paper collection in it. All the pages are built pretty much the same. Little differences, but not many. So this is the page here. I use the stamp here. And when you turn it, this is still January, so you have the ephemera card that I've matted because I wanted it to be sturdy so that it would hold this thick page here, which has a pocket. So it would hold it closed like this, just like the other side. So this is nice paper. And here's a pocket. I used Martha Stewart, the heart punch here. And yeah, you can do some journaling here. And so all the pages are the same. The way I did my spine, my binding system is the elastic binding system. So I have 12 in here. It was quite a challenge to have this to work, but it's working really well. That again is from Anna Paper Creations idea. So February, let's put this card here at the space. So you have February right here. Still the same thing. Card like this. There's always a little journaling spot on the, not this one. All the other ones have the little journaling spot. So there were like 3 different patterns of those little cards, so I took the one that had the journaling spot on them. Always a stamp here. This one here is matted. Here. Pocket here. Is that a pocket? No, it's not a pocket. It's just for a couple photos. That's how it goes. In March. Journaling spot here. Opens here. This card here. Those are fabulous papers. But I think with that last project that I will be doing, it will be 4 big projects, so I think it will be enough for this year. I mean, forever. There are so many different paper collections that we can buy and make beautiful things with them that I'll be working with something else in the future. Just like I did, I used a lot of I made a couple of projects with Lost and Found from Tim Holtz, and also wallpaper, or wallflower, sorry. So I think that I can do other things. I have so many papers from last year's haul that I did that I decided that would be enough. I have enough to work with, so I'm not buying more papers. Here I put a little card because I have this little cutout left over. It was on the big sheet, and I said, well, I'm not throwing that away, so I decided to put it here. So this is a pocket after all. Maybe January was not one, but maybe I decided afterwards that it would be a pocket. So I made it a pocket. So this is June. This is a fun album. You can put, I thought that could be nice for either putting some events, or since it's not that big, like this other project I will present you has much more room for events for a lifetime, but this could be for anniversaries or things like that. So I think I thought it would be a nice project to make. And I like to have the little calendars, the ones that we have here. Because you still have, like, you don't have the squares and there's no year on that, so it could be for any year. It's kind of perpetual calendar, and you have you can write down stuff there. It doesn't have to be in the columns, it could be wherever on the card. Always a little card here for because we can put some photos of the most important events that happened in that month in the life. August. Here I use a little punch for a little heart punch because I use the pattern paper, and I have pattern paper here too, so I decided to make a little border so that you can see through and had some interest to the card, the page. So this is September. This is September again. Here again I had this little extra. I thought that the apples were so beautiful that I decided to punch the corners, and I just put it here. October, my favorite page because I love so much the paper, the colors and everything here. I was limited in the paper that I had. I used a lot of plain solid paper because I didn't have much left of the color paper that went with them, pattern paper. So it's open stock from Joann's papers that I put in there. But I had all the right colors to fit, so I was happy. I have so much in my stash that I could use all for every month. December. This one keeps going in there. Easy to catch though. And the back cover, I made a belly band with paper, and I added a few paper flowers that I've punched into the paper used here, and lifetime, because this is all could be lifetime events that you put in there. So that was my first project. This one here. So this one is the big version. I made that one bigger because I wanted to use the big 8x8 calendar that I had. So this is the cover. Again, I used paper from another paper collection. I thought this one was really nice with the pumpkins and everything. It looked like something like it went with the theme of the months. This paper is from the Once Upon a Time paper stack that I bought last year. I made this cross stitch here, Lifetime Journey, because I think that's everything that you're going to put right in there, because you have the big calendars, you have so much room, that it's going to be like every event in your lifetime. This could be a very nice gift for a wedding, because they're starting a new life, and they have so many events that will happen in their lives that I thought it would be a good idea for the project. So I used some Tim Holtz corners here and Tim Holtz knob here to for the closure with the ribbon. This again, same fabric, and I put a little key here in the frame. This is Tim Holtz again. Had a little tassel and a couple here, a little key and thing here, charm, and this is the back. Again, piece of paper that I grabbed from the paper collection Once Upon a Time. So I'll open it. So this is pretty chunky. Of course, there are 5 flipping pages because there are 12 months, and I put 1 month, like January and December, on the covers because I didn't want to have 12. This would have been this big. That's nonsense. What I did here, when I put the these are little booklets that go for each month in the page. I'll show you here. So here you have January. So this booklet here holds everything closed, just like the other album, just like Anne's Paper Creations idea to hold the flips closed. But after I put all of them, I thought that my album was a little chunky. It went like this, and there's no photos here yet. So if you add photos, like there are lots of spots for photos, I thought maybe it would get too big, and I really don't like when books are too big. I try never to do that. So I thought that one person can do, she can start out with the box, I mean the calendars or the little booklets in the page here to hold it closed. But if after a while they find that with all the photos that go everywhere, it's getting too thick, what they could do is get the ephemera card here and have it here, and it would be tight because this would get thicker and holds everything closed. And then the little booklets, I made this box so that we could store them in there. And this is from the backing of the calendar, 8x8 calendar cover, paper stack, the cover. I used that here. I made this box. I covered all with nice thick paper inside and outside, and I've covered with this pattern paper, which is shiny. And I put little 2 buttons. This is a wooden button, and this is regular vintage button, and this piece of twine, kind of natural twine. And I thought that this pin here would just fit here. It's thicker here than there. So I'll explain to you what these are. So let's put this back here. So every page is the same design. Again, I use a lot of solid paper from Joann's open stock paper, but not paper, I should say cardstock. I never use any paper. It's always cardstock. So I'll show you here January. So here you have the calendar that goes into the pocket here. You have this border from the cutouts paper collection. So you have the calendar. Here you have squares. As you can see, there's no year. So this is perpetual calendar. You can put all the events. So what I suggest is that you put the date. Like you can put one. Like you have what, 30, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 7, 35 squares. So 35 events per month. So that's really a lifetime events, like lifetime journey. So you just write the date, and what you do, like I would say January 20th, 1961, something like that. And then what you do is you have this little booklet that I put some lined paper here. So you write down the date and what happened that day. And you still have, you can put pictures here, or you can write them here if you want. There are like 8 sheets here. So I thought it would be good. So this goes in here. I used one of the cutouts from the paper collection here to make a tuck place here for a photo. And here you have, you can see, this is pretty wide spread. So this is a pocket. Here you can put something in there. And here you can put a couple photos. This is a pocket. You can put photos here if you want. And the stamps here made a pocket. And this is the ephemera card. You can still write some stuff here in the back if you want. And then this is a pocket again. That opens like this. Nice cutout here. Room for either 2 little photos or writing events or whatever. And this one here again for photos. And another one here. And this one, there's a tuck place in here. It's not glued all, it's just glued here underneath. So there's a lot of room for a lot of stuff. Oops, let's put this one. Oh, yeah, that's. I thought it was the ephemera card. So this goes in there. February is the same. Here I have the binding system I've used is my invention. So it is a kind of binding system that makes the pages go flat instead of going all like this. So it's not Kathy Ortho's binding system, Hidden Hinge Plus. It's something else that I made out myself. So there's no, it's not a trouble. I'm not using her system anymore because she's patented it. It's licensed, so I cannot use it if I want to sell the album. So I made out my own. So here again, tuck photos. This is the inside. Photo mat pocket here. And then you have this pocket, photo mat. For your either little photos or journaling. And here you have the ephemera card, the journaling spot in the back. And also I distressed everything with vintage photo from Tim Holtz distress ink. And pocket here again. So all the pages are the same. And you have the calendar right here. See here, March, calendar here. There's always this border here. Sorry. I was happy to have this border cutouts in the paper collection so I could use here. I went along pretty much with the cutouts that are available to design my pages so that I know how to cut my stuff. The ephemera card. Same. Now I'm putting the little notepads in there, little booklets in there, so that they're ready. And then if someone buys the album, gets the box as well. So here we open this. Here. Ephemera card. I'm really proud of this album. I'm very happy. I worked a lot on this one, but I think it was worth it. Calendar for May. As you can see, another frame. All the same. So I'm just going through fast here so that you just get to see the pattern papers that I used, how I put them on my pages. Camera's not wide, so it's hard to get everything into frame. It's June. And I've tied the little booklets with piece of string. This is crochet floss or whatever to crochet yarn. Okay, this here, and this here. This is July, August, ephemera card. September, ephemera card, the apples, oh, this way. October, my favorite month because of the paper design that they made and the colors they use. It's really beautiful. November. Hairpins. And last but not the least, December. And here I use this shiny, I don't know if you see the glittery paper, it's really thick, but it was so nice and shiny I decided to put it because it's like winter and December and Christmassy and everything. So that's my project. Hope you liked it. Leave me a comment. If you liked it, you can click on thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, just click on subscribe down below. And you can leave a comment, which I would really like. Also, you can visit my Facebook page, which is called Scrapbooking Freak. I put all my projects there. Sometimes I don't make videos out of everything that I make, but I put photos in my Facebook page, so you get to see some of them. So we'll see you soon. Until then, bye bye.